You are listening to the Hiking Radio Network, where we talk the walk with shows by hikers, about hikers, for everybody.
This is the Hammock Hangers Podcast, where we hang out and talk about everything from hammocks and hammock camping to the group hangs from around the country. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hammock Hangers Podcast. I am your host, Paul Collins, or also known as Skunkape. AJ, or Pheonix, is back in the wonderful state of Florida again. Yeah, my
I'm
son
thrilled.
exactly. Yeah. So while you were gone, AJ, I decided, I know there's not a whole lot of research out there about the health benefits of sleeping in a hammock, but I did find some, and that's what we're going to go over tonight. There's like 10 different ones that I'm going to read out, and once I read each one, we'll just talk about them a little bit and then move on to the next one.
Sweet.
Sound good?
That works.
Alrighty then. So the first one, we've actually talked about a lot, but we'll go over it again. So it says, one of the most significant health benefits of sleeping in a hammock is the improvement of one's sleep quality. Sleeping in a hammock allows for a natural rocking motion that can lull the body into a deep and restful sleep. This movement is similar to what a baby experiences when it is being rocked to sleep. The gentle sway of the hammock can help calm the mind and reduce stress, which can lead to better sleep quality. Sleeping in a hammock can help you fall asleep faster. Studies have been done on the amount of time it takes people to fall asleep, half of them in traditional beds and half in hammocks. The study concluded that there was a quicker transition to Sleepy Town when in a hammock for all patients. It can also improve the quality of REM, which is rapid eye movement, sleep. In addition to falling asleep faster, hammock sleep also tends to be much deeper sleep. Hammocking can help you achieve REM sleep, which is the most restful form of sleep, leading to increased memory, less anxiety, and sharper focus. Further, deep sleep is associated with a better mood, improved work performance, stronger immunity, muscle and tissue reparation, and restored energy. It is even suggested that because of this deeper sleep, you may sleep longer as well. I know that was a mouthful.
I can't imagine why anybody would want to sleep in a tent.
Yeah. I mean, reading all that, I agree to every bit of it, because I know that I do sleep deeper, I do sleep longer, and of course, waking up in a hammock, my mood's always better.
I can definitely see that. I remember when my son was very, very young, and even my daughter too. Like when they would sleep during the day and even at night, especially my daughter, she would not sleep in a bed. She had to sleep in, we had one of those electric swings that went side to side and front to back, and we could have bought stock in Duracell D batteries with my son till we actually smartened up and got one to plug into the wall with my daughter. But I remember when they were little and they were using it on a daily basis, I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, if only they had an adult version of this.
Right.
And when I discovered hammocks, it was like, oh, this is the swing.
This is the adult version.
This is the adult version.
Right.
Yeah. And I know it talks about the sleep and the things of that nature, but you also said it talks about stress relief, just being that rocking motion, which makes sense because even as adults, because it's been quite a hot minute since both me or you have been in the womb.
Right.
So, just that rock that, developmentally at those very early stages, we took calm and, that was very comforting to us being, just kind of rocked I'm gonna be the first one to admit it. Just rocking in a hammock is amazing. It's
That's
just
what I
something
love.
different.
I love laying in a hammock and just having that gentle breeze that will just slowly start rocking it. And usually if it's once it starts rocking, within 10 minutes I'll be asleep. I'll be napping.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll
I
wake
can
up a
think of
little while
plenty of
later
times.
and have all sorts of energy and ready to go again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. So on to number 2 here. In addition to improving sleep quality, sleeping in a hammock can also alleviate back pain. Unlike traditional beds, hammocks conform to the shape of one's body, providing support in all the right places. This can help reduce pressure points and alleviate pain in areas such as the lower back, hips, and shoulders. Many people who suffer from back pain have reported significant improvement after switching to a hammock. Now, I know we've talked about that a lot. I know we've talked about it several times with Cal, because I know Cal with Yobo Gear, he has, lower back issues. I have lower back issues. I know the L5S1 vertebrae is bulged. And I mean, I get up in the mornings from my bed and I'm hobbling to the bathroom like I'm 90 years old, because my back hurts, my feet hurt and everything else. But whenever I do sleep in my hammock in my room here, I get up and my back is fine. My feet are fine. I feel so much better.
Yeah, I don't have as much of back issues now, but like I do have like the hips and in my lower back, mostly my hips now.
Right.
But yeah, when I would have back issues or when my hips are like flaring up, going in the hammock, it is just that pressure relief, but it also I don't know, it kind of also it's almost like a compression sock in a way, like it's not like laying on the floor, but like it just hugs everything and just kind of shores everything up and gives that the support that you really need.
Right. And I think with the way that a hammock contours and conforms to your body laying there, it more evenly distributes your weight. So that way you don't have, a lot of weight on one spot, creating those harsh pressure points.
Yeah, and I think we have a lot of people ask us, well, how can I use a pad in a hammock? I really think by using an underquilt, you can really take full advantage of that pressureless point lay,
Right.
than you can with a pad, because with a pad you're offering a little bit more of a rigid surface that you're laying on.
Yep.
So you might introduce a little bit more of that awkwardness. Even though they won't be quite the same as sleeping on a bed, you're still gonna introduce that into the equation.
Right. Right. You're not getting rid of it totally.
Right. Yeah.
The pressure points. All right. Number 3 here. Another benefit of sleeping in a hammock is that it can help regulate body temperature.
Interesting.
I know you're joking.
I mean, that just sounds kind of a random nugget of knowledge, I guess.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Okay. It says during the night, our body temperature can fluctuate, causing us to feel hot or too cold. Since hammocks allow for more air circulation, the body can regulate its temperature more effectively. This can lead to better sleep quality since extreme temperature changes can cause interruptions in sleep. I know in my bed, Deanna, she'll tell me, in the mornings whenever I get up, she'll be laughing. She's like, "You flopped like a fish all night last night." And I do. I feel like I'm in a rotisserie. I mean, I crank my AC down to like 70 at night whenever I sleep. It's 72 or 73 degrees. Okay. Poor Deanna, she's bundled up with like 3 covers over the top of her. But I've got the AC cranked down and I've got a box fan like a foot and a half from the bed blowing straight on me. And I still just toss and turn like I'm like a rotisserie chicken in the bed.
Do you think that's from like the bed just retaining your body heat?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Because I mean, whenever if I lay there I don't even have to lay there long. I can lay there for 20, 30 minutes and I get up and you feel the mattress where I was laying, and you can feel the heat that it has just absorbed.
Right.
And this is one of the Tempur-Pedic
I know,
cool touch, keep you cool mattress. No, it'll keep you cool for about maybe 3 minutes. And that's about it. But
I would say also, like, on the flip side, a hammock will chill your butt out real quick if you don't have some sort of insulation on there too.
Correct. But if I start to get cold in a hammock, well, I mean, usually, even like laying here in the house, I'll put an underquilt on it. And if I start to get hot, I can vent it.
Right.
I can regulate that heat. I can't vent a bed mattress.
I think they make like little inserts that you can have that like cools your. I don't know if it would work on yours because you've got the bougie bed, but it's something about like the airflow, or maybe it's like a water, like a water cooling system, almost like they have in computers now, which I've always found odd as well. Like, I've never been able to mentally grasp that my computer is going to be water cooled, but I know they've been around for a while. I know yours is probably water or nitrogen cooled or
nitrogen cooled,
whatever. They do have those as well.
Cool.
Like, I can imagine how expensive those are, but yeah, I mean, you're gonna get that benefit of those cooling things a lot cheaper in a hammock than you would in a mattress. Absolutely. Yeah.
I think the only bed that I've ever owned that I didn't really sleep hot in was like the late 80s, early 90s. I had a water bed. And I never turned the heater on. I just had a sheet.
Why does that not surprise
me? Hey, I loved my water bed.
You and every other person from the 80s.
I know, right? I wish I could go back. I hate this time today. That's a whole nother episode, though.
Go back to my water bed.
But yeah, that's the only bed that I've ever had where I could sleep cool. Now it's the hammock.
But I would think a waterbed would be very similar to a hammock in that, you have that induction, with the air circulation, and the water is not going to keep you, warm.
No. Waterbeds used to have a heater up under that you could put up under the mattress, and you could turn it on and it would heat the water.
Yeah. My parents had
I've always lived in Florida. We don't use heaters.
Right. But it's kind of the same kind of like that ambient movement.
Oh yeah. Because mine was the what they call it, the full flow or full wave or whatever.
Did you have a wave machine in your waterbed?
No. Just whenever I flopped.
That's just what I like envisioned. Like,
no.
trying to sleep and your bed is just moving like a wave machine at a water park.
Oh my God, you're an idiot.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, so number 4. Yeah, number 4. Sleeping in a hammock also helps with improved circulation. Hammocks allow the body to rest in a position that promotes healthy blood flow, which can help reduce swelling and increase oxygenation to vital organs. This improved circulation can also help reduce the risk of developing conditions such as varicose veins and deep vein thrombosis. What is deep vein thrombosis? Deep vein thrombosis, or DVT, occurs when a blood clot forms in one or more of the deep veins in the body, usually in the legs. Deep vein thrombosis can cause leg pain or swelling. Sometimes there are no noticeable symptoms.
Well, we get that like when we go hiking, and at the end of the day, like your feet's hurting, your feet's gonna swell up.
Yep.
But if you lay in a hammock where your feet is like slightly elevated,
Yep.
that inflammation actually drains down, so you don't get that kind of.
That's what I loved. That's what I loved whenever I done my through hike. That's what I loved about having a hammock, because I was able to have my feet slightly elevated and
in a comfortable way. It's not like you were throwing your pack under your knees or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whenever we go on a even like a day hike or something, I always have like a netless hammock that I'll throw in my day pack. Like when we just came back from Colorado, and I have a 1.0 Hexon netless from Dutchware that just kind of lived in my Camelback, and you get out at the end of a trail, everybody else is sitting on a rock, throwing up in the trees, and I'm cranking back, and it was nice. It was nice.
And everybody's getting jealous.
You getting the stanky eye from everybody else because you were prepared.
Yep. There's a couple of these that we'll get to that actually surprised me also whenever I was reading up on all this stuff.
But I can imagine, like, just with circulation and all the the risk and things that go along with the bad circulation, like discoloration in your legs from bad circulation, just more more pain that you'll have in your joints from the inflammation, and you talk about the thrombosis. I mean, those blood clots, I mean, they could be deadly.
Yeah.
Like if those blood clots move and things like that and get to your heart or your brain, it's that could cause either a heart attack or stroke,
aneurysms or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely.
So just another way, friends and family, that a hammock can save your life.
Right. All right. So on to number 5 here. This one, I don't know if I really knew this one. I don't think I ever really gave it a whole lot of thought until after I read this, but it says sleeping in a hammock can also improve one's breathing. When laying flat on a traditional bed, gravity can cause the tongue and soft tissue in the throat to collapse, leading to snoring and other breathing problems. Sleeping in a hammock, however, elevates the head slightly, which can open up the airways and make breathing easier. This can be especially beneficial for people who suffer from sleep apnea or other breathing disorders.
I don't know.
I honestly believe that, because in the bed, Dan is always saying that I snore, and I've caught myself snoring. But I've had people, whenever I'm in my hammock or whatever, whether here or somewhere else, I don't snore as much.
Oh, okay. I was about to say
as much. I'm not going to say I don't ever snore, because if I get really tired and I get really relaxed, I may snore.
I mean, you don't snore as much as Britt does, but
Britt will be mid-sentence and start snoring.
Britt,
it becomes a whole paragraph of his sentence.
just snore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I don't know if a hammock will fully take care of like the snoring, and I don't even know if it would necessarily help in certain circumstances, because I have a lot less issues with snoring now. I only snore now when I get really, really tired or I've stayed up
Right.
for a couple days. But
Yeah, I've noticed when we've been out that your snoring isn't as bad.
yeah,
I mean, there's been a couple of times that I've heard you start snoring, but it's not as bad. It's not as deep, and I mean, you're not depriving all of us of the oxygen in that immediate area anymore.
I am no longer the top gun on the totem pole.
But because I mean, your snoring used to be bad. Now
No. I never heard
granted,
myself snore, so I can't neither confirm or deny this.
granted, that was back when you were 200 something pounds heavier too.
That's also very true.
But I think that I'm not, all of these that we're talking about, they're not cure-alls by any mean. They're just studies that have been shown to, reduce certain things when they've done their studies.
Right. I think the number 5 for me is the flimsiest one so far.
The flimsiest one so far.
I don't know.
Okay, so number 6, it was one that I had no idea about. I've never heard of this, but according to the studies, it has helped some. Sleeping in a hammock has been shown to improve digestion. The gentle rocking motion of the hammock can help ease digestive discomfort, reduce acid reflux symptoms, and promote better bowel regularity. Individuals with gastrointestinal disorders such as IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, or GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, can benefit from this gentle rocking motion.
That makes sense.
I mean, I can see with the acid reflux, because if I ever have acid reflux, even in my bed, I'd kind of sit up or raise the mattress,
Right.
the head up some. So I could see with that.
I could see like the rocking and stuff, just constantly keeping things moving, so you don't have like this one cavity of built up gas. You have things like constantly moving, so that gas is slowly moving its way through your system, and then you end up farting it out on your underquilt and
trapping the aroma.
Trapping the aroma, yes. Harnessing the heat from your digestive
from your
issue.
sphincter.
It's from your sphincter heater.
Sphincter heater. Oh my god,
That sounds like a great band name. The
Sphincter
Heaters.
Is that gonna be the name of your Hancon band?
Man, we need to find someone to give that trail name to. Sphincter Heater. I mean, I could think of a few people that I could give it to. But
oh my god. How do we stray off on these episodes? Okay. So yeah, like I said, with that, I could see with the acid reflux and stuff, but I didn't really know that about the IBS or the gastroesophageal reflux.
That's good, considering like the 2 nights in a row of chili that we serve at HangCon. That should help rock those pains right away.
This is true. Very true. All right, so number 7. One of the lesser known health benefits of sleeping in a hammock is its ability to improve one's immune system. Research has shown that the gentle swaying motion of a hammock can help stimulate the lymphatic system, which is responsible for removing waste and toxins from the body. A healthy lymphatic system can help boost the immune system, making the body more resistant to illness and disease.
Interesting. Like I wouldn't pair it of like the rocking motion being the benefit of a more healthy immune system. I would think a higher quality of sleep would be attributed to
Right.
your just your body being in a better position to defend off crap.
Right.
But yeah, interesting.
But yeah, apparently there's been some research that they've done that I don't know exactly how they done that research, but yeah.
People much smarter than you or I.
Yes. And that's why they do the research and we do the podcast.
That's true. They get paid the big bucks, and well, we do the podcast.
We have people send us messages saying they like us. Okay, so yeah, that was a lesser known one, which I agree is lesser known. I didn't know it. Does it seem to make sense to you?
I mean,
I know what you were saying.
It makes sense to me in the case of a better quality
sleep versus
is
the
more
rocking.
general better bill of health, which in turn means a stronger immune system. But I would have never pegged like the rocking motion of a hammock stimulating a particular system in my brain that makes my immune system stronger. Huh. That's pretty cool.
All right. Okay. Number 8. Aside from its physical health benefits, sleeping in a hammock can also provide mental health benefits. As mentioned earlier, the rocking motion of a hammock can help reduce stress and anxiety, leading to improved mental health. This can be especially helpful for people who suffer from insomnia or other sleep disorders that can be exacerbated by stress.
110%. In fact, like I would say, because of the time period that I got into hammocks, it was like a win-win-win situation for me, because I got into hammock camping. It'd only been like a few months after my dad had passed away. And, I was also working in the church. And so that was always a stressful adventure. And, like I said, my dad had just passed away. I was transitioning at that stage of life, working in a high stress environment. And so like when I got into hammocks, that being out in nature, that exposure to the fresh air, that again, going back to that whole rocking motion, it was a moment of zen for me, like getting in a hammock at the end of the day. Like I remember when I first got it was a brown Eno that was my first hammock, and I remember after the first time that I did it, and it felt so wonderful. I was out there almost every afternoon, because that was my downtime. Like that was my moment of self-regulation, that I could go out, I could breathe in fresh air. I could, I was commandeering my kids' play set at the time, because I didn't have, trees or anything in my backyard. So they're like, "Daddy, we can't swing." I don't care, go away. But I had my hammock strung up there.
I bought it, I can play with it.
Right. Well, I built it, so. But I remember that being such a pivotal, self-regulating, self-medicating time, because that allowed my body to just, and my brain and my stress levels and my anxiety to just regulate.
Right.
And, we have talked about numerous times, like how we get kind of jonesing for camping. It's not necessarily being, out just camping, because I can be miserable while camping too, but just being out there in the hammock and, I think that's so therapeutic in
Yeah.
so many ways. And it's not just, the rocking motion is great. The comfort is great. Being out in nature is great, but just everything about it, just a culmination. It's just something different that you wouldn't get necessarily in a tent. I would even say maybe the closest thing would be like almost like cowboy camping, except cowboy camping in comfort versus just laying on the ground and getting eaten by bugs. I don't know too many people that would necessarily enjoy cowboy camping in Florida.
Something's gonna tote you away.
I mean, yeah.
Something.
What word the other? Winged or scaled or meth addict. I don't know. I mean, something. A gator, mosquito, hawk, meth head.
I mean, you could always make the ground a little more comfortable and softer by getting some of that Spanish moss and just making you a bed and just laying on top of that.
You could, as the chiggers carry you away.
I was seeing so many people do that. I laugh at them. They'll take and throw some of that Spanish moss in a little stuffed sack or something like that and use it as a pillow.
Yeah.
Let me know how you feel in the morning there.
Yeah. You're going to be scratching for the rest of your week.
Trying to scratch your head off your shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that one I'm on board with 100%.
Yeah.
And have personally benefited from that. So yes. And if it is, I haven't personally benefited from it, it's not true. But that one, 100% true.
I'm this. I'm the same way. Whenever I start to get really stressed, Deanna can see it as well. And, she'll be like, Paul, go camping, grab you a hammock, go out to the woods, hug a tree, hang between them, whatever. Just come back, yourself.
Better mood.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, number 9, in addition to reducing stress, sleeping in a hammock can also improve one's mood. Absolutely. The gentle swaying and comfortable position can create a sense of relaxation and happiness, which can help reduce depression and anxiety. People who regularly sleep in a hammock have reported feeling more rested and rejuvenated in the morning, which can lead to a more positive outlook on life.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I mean, I sleep in a hammock, and there's less people the next day that I want to throat punch, I think, at work or wherever.
I mean, even all right, so, we've been into a lot of hangs together, and, we've seen a lot of new people that are just trying out hammocks, especially like at Fall Sprawl or, especially at HangCon a lot.
Right.
So it might be their first time in a hammock, and, spoiler alert, your first night in a hammock, you're not going to sleep super great just because it's so different. It's so different than what your body is used to.
See,
but
I remember my first night in a hammock. Whenever I was preparing for my thru hike and I got my Clark.
Mm-hmm.
When my Clark came in, my sister and brother-in-law, they had like 22 acres, I think it was, 22, 25 acres, something like that they were getting ready to build on. So I would go out there, and that's the day I got my hammock, got my Clark. I went out there and strung it up, and I slept like a baby that first night.
Well, I mean, even the people that, may not have slept the greatest in a hammock, they still wake up and they're not like, oh, this hurts, and just like, oh, just miserable.
Right.
They have like I didn't sleep all that great, but I'm still kind of relaxed. I'm still kind of feeling all right. However, you go somewhere where It's like, oh well, I got a crick in my back because the air mattress deflated, or the bed in the pop up or the bed in the camper is just not as fluffy as my bed at home or something like that. They come and they are like
Right.
just angry. However, like the people in the hammock, yeah, they may not have slept the greatest, but they're still
Right. And
coming out
I think,
kind of chill.
like what you were saying a second ago, they might not have slept the greatest because of it being something new.
Yeah, yeah,
Being
absolutely.
something new, and I'm sure some people, especially when they see like hammocks, hanging by whoopee slings and stuff like that, is you got a thin, what they would see as a rope that don't look like it can hold much weight, holding you up.
Right.
So
It's a mental
right.
thing. Yeah.
That's, I think, is what what keeps a lot of people from sleeping real deep that first night, because they're anticipating a fall that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I had that experience just, when we were out in Colorado using some of the stands that I was using.
Right.
Because it's something very something very different, and
yeah, because you hadn't used those stands, had you?
No, I
so
had
it was new, and
yeah.
You got it in your mind because they don't look like they would hold, and
no, they don't,
and everything, and
it's like voodoo witchcraft, and miraculously, when you do what you're supposed to do, and everything works, they totally check out. They totally work out. But again, it's a mental game of getting over it. I'm going to be fine.
Right. I mean, that's pretty much like with anything else. So, I mean, think about the first night. Most people, when they go on like an overnight hike or something like that, that first night that they're out in the, camping out in the woods, a lot of times they don't get get real good sleep because they're hearing every little noise, and they think that, you got 10 bear around you, chupacabra, Bigfoot, and everything else, right outside, your your view. But okay, so number 10, finally, sleeping in a hammock can be a great way to connect with nature. Many people enjoy sleeping outdoors in a hammock, surrounded by the sounds of nature and the fresh air. This can help promote a sense of peace and calm, and can be especially beneficial for people who live in urban areas or spend most of their time indoors. So, I mean, that's pretty much what we was talking about a second ago.
Yes.
So, I mean, yes, it is, combination of both. I love nature. I love being, the further I can get away from all the city noises and stuff like that, the car sounds and the tires and this and that and everything else, and just hear like the wind blowing through the trees, or the different birds, or a stream or a river, and then it starts to get dark and you start hearing the frogs and the crickets and all that. I love that. But then when you combine that with hearing all that while laying in a hammock,
yeah,
it just makes it so much better.
Yeah, the only time that I have not enjoyed like nature sounds was we were camping at Disney. So we were camping at Fort Wilderness. Now granted, like the sounds that I was hearing was we were camped along this like I don't know exactly how to explain it. It was almost like a drainage canal kind of thing.
Florida River.
It wasn't a river, but it was like it was a huge ditch that was like running through the campground. And the reptiles, I don't know if they were, gators or just, they were just so incredibly loud. Like that was the only time that I just wanted to go, shut up, nature. I'm trying to go to sleep. But one thing that I experienced in Colorado this year that I hadn't really experienced too much any other times because of maybe the moon that when we had gone out, or you definitely don't get this anywhere here in Florida, is the dark sky. So there wasn't, where we were at, in some places there wasn't any light pollution.
That's I love being in areas like that.
So I saw the Milky Way for the first time, and that
Right.
was with my bare eyes, like not with a telescope or anything along those lines. With my bare eyes, I was able to see stars and see the
Mhm.
Milky Way, and just everything just being so dark and just being blown away with, like, gosh, there are so many stars up there that I'm not seeing
Mhm.
from where I live.
Would you believe I actually remember being able to see that stuff here in Florida?
Really?
Yep. Back in the early to mid 80s. Back whenever I was a kid. I mean, I'd go outside and it would be pitch black and you look up and see the Milky Way and stuff. Not anymore. Thank you,
No.
villages. In Orlando.
Oh, the stucco jungle.
Yeah. 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 So, but that was the 10. So, I mean, basically in conclusion, sleeping in a hammock can offer many health benefits, including improved sleep quality, reduced back pain, improved circulation, better breathing, stronger immune system, improved mental health, and a deeper connection with nature.
And it can save your life.
Yep. Yep. It does say, while some people may be hesitant to try sleeping in a hammock, the benefits are worth exploring. If you're looking for a way to improve your health and well-being, consider giving a hammock a try. You may be surprised at how much it can help. So, where would be one of the best places to try a hammock, AJ?
Seems like there's a big thing down here in Florida, like Martin Luther King weekend. What is that called? It's on the tip of my tongue.
I'm thinking you're thinking about HangCon.
HangCon.
That would be the one.
HangCon, yeah. So registration for HangCon is open. We are selling our super early bird raffle tickets. And a huge shout out to the vendors that have sent us donations, and shout out to all the wonderful people that have already pre-purchased raffle tickets. You definitely want to hop on board with this super early bird registration, because you can get not just one for $5. If you donate $20, you can get seven, Paul.
That's 2 extra
Seven,
tickets.
not just 4, but 7. You can almost double the regular ticket per dollar amount. That's pretty awesome.
Might be one of those tickets that wins.
It might be one of those tickets that wins. So for $20, you might win a. Well, last year you could have won a $1,500 package from Hammock Gear.
Yep.
For $20.
Complete set.
Like hammock, tarp, quilts. It quilts with an S, plural. Quilts.
Yep. Top, under, all the accessories.
Or for $20, you might could get a Yobo cricket stand. Like, how cool is that? Or a Tensasobo
Then you
stand.
can hang anywhere.
Yeah, for real. Like, the cricket is like one of my favorite pieces of gear, just hands down.
Hang anywhere.
And what a better thing to help support the hammock community than helping support this free event. Yeah, free event. Anybody wants to come to HangCon, you don't have to pay a dime. And we feed you. And there's free camping. We just ask that, you give a donation if you can, or buy some raffle tickets, which means you could leave with some really wicked sweet, maybe really wicked expensive kind of gear.
Yep.
So Paul, if I wanted to register for this HangCon, where would I go?
Well, the best place to go the only place to go would be www.hangcon.com and click on at the top, the event registration link, and it will take you to the form.
And that's all I got to do?
That's it. You just fill the form out.
That sounds crazy easy.
It is.
In fact, it sounds crazy easy. I think I've already done it.
I think you did too. I think I did. We've been getting a lot of other ones too. We've had 70ish registrations, registration forms filled out, and most of those are multiple people.
Yeah. Most of the
I think we have like 130, 140 people registered.
I haven't gotten to the point that I check it on a daily basis yet.
I check it every once in a while, just so that.
Especially since we just got back, I haven't really gotten to the loop back around to that. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. We already have, like, we're not even to October, and we already have more people registered than we had.
We're not even to August.
Yeah, we're not even to August. We already have as many people as we had back in 2020 or 2021.
Really, we have 6 months to go.
Crazy. So go ahead and get registered, get your raffle tickets, and get your plans in gear. If you have some questions on, if you're flying in or if you're driving in, go make sure that you check our website. Make sure you go back and listen to a What to Expect from HangCon that we did last year that we just reissued a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Check out that episode of our podcast. There's some really great information there. If you're looking to maybe carpool, if you go to our Facebook page, there is a thread listed on our Facebook page that has, people where they're coming in, if they're willing to give rides or if they're willing to pick up or if they're willing to carpool. Save yourself some money, help split some gas, and come on down and try a hammock or 2 or 3 or 4 at HangCon in 2024.
I think I have that pinned on the top awesome. Also of the Facebook page. So it should be the very top.
Awesome.
Top deal.
So,
and again, I think it was last week. It was last week that I mentioned about helping me spread the word about HangCon to stress AJ out just a wee little bit, because I'd love to see at least 500 people on the registries. That would be insane.
That would literally be insane. But I think
we can do it though. I mean, we've upped it 100 each year since we took over. That's true. So I mean, minimum of 500 this year. I mean, unless we can get everybody to help spread the word a little bit, and we double down. That was AJ's stress. That was AJ's stress laugh, by the way.
We're gonna have to do a stand. We're gonna have to do a hammock stand class like immediately on Friday.
Right.
It's like, we ran out of trees. No, I don't think we're close to running out of trees, but
oh god, no, not with the
primitive area and things like that. However, if you want to get like near the action, you might want to
earlier bring a stand.
Yep,
get there early or bring a stand.
So,
or buy a stand there.
That's true. I
know Kristen and Cal usually sell out every year.
Every year, and they
sell out to the point that they actually have to take orders, because they always do a HangCon special price too.
That's true.
Which I can't remember what that is, or if it changes or what. But so you just have to see once you get there. But
not to mention all the new cool things that get released at HangCon as well.
That is true. I wonder what new stuff is going to get released this year.
There's always some fun stuff.
It's usually Dutch too.
Yeah, Dutch usually really some good stuff too. So, but yeah, so check out our hangcon.com Facebook page. Get registered for Hangcon in 2024. We'd love to see everybody there. If you like what you're hearing on our podcast and you want to support us, go on and leave us a 5-star review on either Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to your podcast or get your podcast. It's a very cheap way, and it's a very easy way to help get our podcast out and about to all the masses. Make sure you like and subscribe on our YouTube, and tell our friends about us. In the words of Robert Porterfield of the Barter Theater, if you like us, hey, talk about us. If you don't, just keep your mouth shut.
Alrighty then. All right. Well, I think that's going to cover it, AJ. And hopefully next week, if all goes well. Well, no, next week. Who do we have next week?
So next week we are planning to talk with some of the founders of the Midha hang that was just this past week. I believe so. Up in maybe Western Pennsylvania.
Okay.
We're going to be talking with Chris Haley, is one of the organizers for that. So we'll be chatting about him with his hang. And maybe in 2 weeks, we're going to have a very, very special guest on.
Hashtag
Don't Tell Dawn.
Hashtag Don't Tell Dawn.
Dawn, my wife, will be joining us on the podcast. If she approves the questions that we're going to ask her ahead of time. So we're going to be chatting with her about our trip to Colorado, our family's camping trip that we did all in hammocks. And my wife, who is a superhero, by the way, just completed a 14er, which she hiked one of the Colorado peaks that went above 14,000 feet. She hiked up to the top of Handy's, which is one of the mountains out there. And so she's going to be on to tell us about that wonderful adventure.
If we're lucky, we might be able to get some Pheonix secrets from her.
Yeah, I'm dreading this. I'm just scared.
Pheonix behind the scenes. When she's on, can we discuss like all your gear? Yeah, get your spreadsheet ready.
Oh no. No.
I wouldn't do that to you. Maybe. All right, AJ. Well, that is going to cover it for this episode. So, like AJ said a minute ago, just like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Leave a review for us. Where else can you find us? YouTube. Follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and just tell your friends and family and everybody in your social media pages about us. And let's see if we can get the podcast to grow a little bit. And until next week, happy hanging, everyone.